morning, and welcome to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm glad you've made the connection and are with us today. I'm Lori Fitz, your host, and the goal of our show is to explore a wide range of topics that challenge us to see ourselves, our community, and the world around us in ways that get us thinking, get us imagining, get us planning maybe, and get us connected, and perhaps inspired or challenged to do just a bit more because we've made the connection. Our topic today is our continuing series on library connections, brought to us by MELSA, the Metropolitan Library Service Agency. And my co-hosts are Sally of MELSA and Susan the librarian. Welcome, you two.
Thanks.
We're so glad you're here. It's always fun to do our second Saturday of the month with MELSA. And this one's going to be a lot of fun. You've brought some great guests today as we talk about community events. So, Sally, tell me about SmartPass.
I would be delighted to. It's my absolute, one of my favorite programs that we have available. And I'll back up a little bit to sort of the genesis of SmartPass by maybe some of your listeners will remember that the libraries had a program called the Museum Adventure Pass. That was from 2006 through 2012. And that involved going to the library branches and racing when the libraries opened in the morning, racing to the kiosk where there were actual physical passes to many of the museums in the area. And it was extremely popular. And also
we still get questions about that today.
Yeah, people
at the
still
libraries. It ended in 2012. It was popular. That's how popular it was.
12 years later, where's my
Yes.
museum pass?
Yeah, it was a super popular, but also, kind of a supply and demand issue where the demand was, certainly much greater than the supply of these physical passes, and you kind of needed to be able to get to the library when it opened.
And there was
so
a lot
that's
of
bit of a
staff
barrier.
time. Yep, a
for
lot of
a
staff
number of
time involved too.
people. Yeah, so it was fantastic and beloved, but we did sunset it in 2012. And I had always kind of wanted to see, is there a way we could have performances, theater, music, dance? There's so many great performance venues in the Twin Cities, concerts. And we really couldn't do kind of seated sorts of reservation things with the Museum Adventure Pass. That kind of worked. You checked out a pass and you had a week to use it. And because you were going to venues that are just kind of open each day, from morning till close, that would work. But we kind of wanted to figure out a way to have more of the cultural organizations in the Twin Cities involved. Mainly, we want to introduce our library users to the transformational art scene around here. And so it took like
Part
3
of our
years.
lifelong learning mission.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to get that organized, and it took a little while. We had created a web-based program for this. And in 2015, we did like a pilot program for it. And then in 2016, late 2016, we rolled it out, and it's been going on ever since. And so it's smartpass.melsa.org is the way you get to this. And you need a library card, your trusty, valuable library card from one of our Metro Public Library systems. And you set yourself up an account on SmartPass using your library card barcode and PIN. And then you can get all these free tickets to all these amazing arts organizations in the area. And in some cases, discount tickets are posted as well. So there's free and discount tickets available to great places. And so it's been extremely popular. And we're so thrilled that the local arts organizations have donated many, many thousands and thousands of tickets, and they are not reimbursed in any way for those, which I like to stress. These are being given to the community by the arts organizations that participate as a way to reach out to the community and let y'all know what they offer. And so it's been a great program to be involved in.
Well, I'm going to go to the FAQs that are available on that website that you mentioned, smartpass.melsa.org. So I'm going to read back what it says about SmartPass just to re-emphasize all the good things that you just said. SmartPass is a web-based arts outreach program available exclusively to Metropolitan Public Library cardholders in good standing. Now, earlier this year, we made a big push, go out and get your library pass. We want you to make sure that you do have a library card to do this. It allows you to reserve free or perhaps discounted admissions to a number of art experiences in the Twin Cities. So, another good question is, when is SmartPass available?
Oh my gosh, it's available all the time.
Yes, it
And
is.
There's
yeah,
new offers weekly, is it?
oh, even
Daily?
even more than that. There is on Sunday afternoons, if you sign up for it, you'll get an email as a user that will tell you new offers that have been offered since in that week. So you'll be able to access those. But kind of the way to use SmartPass is probably to check it often, just because you just don't know what's going to be up there on any given day. And you also, if you see something that you'd like to go to, you should probably go for it, because otherwise, oftentimes, once the reservations are all booked for an offer, it will just disappear from the site.
Especially if it's a very popular. So get it while it's hot is what I'm
There are
hearing.
there are some that disappear within, hours, a couple hours of when they're posted. And so, that's wonderful, but it does mean that, you should always check, because part of the goal, from my standpoint, is to make sure that, eventually, if I can achieve this, I don't know, it'll take a while, but I want like every available seat in every available venue to be filled for every performance.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Because I feel like the people putting on these amazing things and the people in the audience like a full auditorium or like a full concert hall. And so what we like to try to do with our partners is say, if you notice, you're looking at your box office and you see, oh, we've got some tickets still available for this performance coming up. That's the perfect time to just post those up on SmartPass and make sure that you have all those seats filled that you can fill. So that'd be our ultimate goal.
And the more people are exposed to the arts, the more they want to get involved. So by allowing folks to have that admission and opportunity, I think builds an audience for the future as well. Now, I'm going to ask you a technical question that our audience may want to know, but it's something as simple as, well, how do I even log in? What is that like? So is it difficult? Is there a challenge? Is there any trick to it?
No, I mean, that's just where you set up your account with your library card barcode and PIN. The SmartPass site is authenticating users with their library. And so, that's the key piece, is that you've got your
If you
account
have
set
any
up.
difficulties, give a call to your library system, because there's probably something weird with your card.
But it doesn't sound like you need a password, so you don't have to remember that.
Just the PIN that you have with your library card will work.
Yep.
Is
the
there
same PIN you use.
is there a limit to the number of admissions I can reserve?
Yeah, there is. So this is another key detail. You can only have 2 active SmartPass reservations at a time. So, and SmartPass will only show you offers 60 days ahead. So even though there are organizations that have put in their offers for a full year, the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra does that. They put a year's worth up, and they're just waiting until, the 60-day, and then it'll pop up. But if you reserve 2 things, then you'll be blocked from making an additional reservation until one of those reservations has happened or gone by. So, we do try to urge people, you want to balance that thing where you see something that's a couple months away that you want to go to, with knowing that then you're tying up one of your 2 reservations for, up to 60 days.
And if you have more than one library card in your family,
yes,
that works
that's
too.
true.
But I think it's only, in most cases, 2 passes per Smart Pass, like 2 reservations.
Right. Each Smart Pass offer reservation is for 2 admissions. And so that's kind of nice too. So you know that you can bring somebody else along for the experience.
And the last question I have is, some of these look like they're coded like as family friendly. Is there some? Tell me about that.
Right. So there are some different categories on the SmartPass site. And yeah, they're family friendly is, there are some things, the children's theater is part of SmartPass. And so they'll have things go up there too that will qualify, but lots of things will qualify as family friendly, though not everything. And so we have put in some different categories. Let's see, I think there's a over 6 years old, over 13, over 18, and then an over 21 category. So you should be mindful, when you're making your reservations, make sure you're noticing if you're getting tickets to something that you were planning to bring your toddler to and it's not appropriate. So yeah, you do want to pay attention to that too. And I think sometimes too, like for like the SPCA, we put the 6+ for some of their things because, as we know, there are parents who believe that their 2-year-old is a prodigy and will sit through a symphonic.
Everybody knows that toddlers love the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra.
Yeah.
Well, it is probably a good idea to encourage parents to think that one through.
Yes.
But with that, I am going to also encourage everyone to take a look at smartpass.melsa.org. It's a great place to go to figure out all the fun things you want to do, especially with the holidays coming up. And with that, our friend Sally has invited some great folks that participate in the Smart Pass that we'll be chatting with in the next 2 segments. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. Our topic today is our continuing series on the Library Connections, brought to us by Melsa, and we're featuring Smart Pass today. I have my co-hosts, Sally of Melsa and Susan, the librarian, and I want to just do a quick shout out. Susan, the librarian, is also the person we come to ask questions. Susan is our Ask the Librarian. In fact, you have an email address, don't you, Susan?
Yes, Susan, the THEE librarian at gmail.com.
It's sort of the old English spelling of the. But we had one of a question from our engineer that is a good question. And we always like to honor the questions to ask the librarian. The question was, how about if I've got some delinquent books out there? Can I still use my library pass for a Smart Pass?
I mean, it kind of depends what your fee level is, but in most cases, if your books are not like months or years overdue, you should be good. I would say go ahead and ask check in with your library system if you try to sign in and something is in your card is not working, because occasionally you don't remember your PIN correctly, or you have to, every few years, most libraries like to make sure they have the correct, address on your card file. So you might have to check in with your library system. You can stop by, give them a call,
And this is your way of getting good with the library.
Yes.
Get good with the library, and good things will come to you, including the Smart Pass. Sally, do you want to do just a quick overview of what Smart Pass is, and then we'll introduce our guests?
Sure. So once again, the smartpass.melsa.org is the site where you can log in with your library card, barcode, and PIN, and get free tickets to some amazing arts experiences in the Twin Cities, all donated by the arts organizations who participate in the program. And so, yeah, we definitely encourage people to expand their life a little bit and use their library card to have some wonderful arts experiences. And, follow up maybe if you get an interest in something based on a concert you see or a play, or, go to your library and see what kinds of materials maybe will support your new interest.
And aren't there like 36 or so different organizations?
There are quite a few. I think there's maybe 30. Yeah, there's a lot of organizations on there. If you go to smartpass.melsa.org, you'll see the tiles with all the logos of the participating venues. And I should note, the tiles randomly populate and rotate around, and so they're always in all different orders. So
Nice,
a couple of our guests today, one from the American Swedish Institute and one from Walking Shadow. We will not always have Walking Shadow way at the bottom of the list and American Swedish Institute at the very top. So those logos always rotate around.
Well, with that, I won't say that these are your favorite, because then we might get the other venues upset. But these definitely are stars that are joining us today. And we have the Walking Shadow Theater Artistic Director, John Heimbuch. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Ashley Ryan from First Avenue. And they have many properties. We're going to talk about that. I am an old, literally, First Avenue participant and dancer, and love to go there way back when it was first opened, and love still going. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
We have the University of Minnesota Theater and Dance Department Chair, Margaret Wary. Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Ingrid Nyholm Lang. Very nice to have you join us from the American Swedish Institute. You're the Chief Operating Officer there.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to have you all. What I'd love to do is be able to have our audience learn about your venue, what you offer, and all of that good stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this be a panel presentation, basically, where I will ask the general question and then I'll go from one to the next. And I'm going to start with the Walking Shadow Theater Company. And from my understanding, you are doing amazing work. You're a Minneapolis-based company with a reputation for producing well-staged and carefully researched work, drawn to shows that are smart, exciting, savvy, and maybe even a little quirky or maybe subversive. So tell me, John, about the Walking Shadow Theater Company.
Sure. Well, Walking Shadow has been around since 2004. We got our start in the Minnesota Fringe Festival many, many years ago. And we have been producing steadily ever since. Usually we stage 3 or 4 shows a year. I believe we are currently working on our 54th production.
Wow.
And we do not have a permanent home in which we do all of our shows, unlike the other venues who are present here. We are an independent company, so we float around various theaters that are around the Twin Cities. Sometimes lately we've used a lot more site-specific places. So last season we did a show at the Black Forest Inn's back room, a feast there. And the year before that, we did a show at the Hamlin University pool. This year, we are returning to more traditional theater spaces. We are performing in 2025 a show called Witch, which will be happening at the Open Eye Theater in Minneapolis. And then Another show called Mae West and the Trial of Sex, which is about historical events from the 1920s. And that will be taking place at Crane Theater, also in Minneapolis, in Northeast.
And The Witch and the Mae West are both going to be offered on Smart Pass, correct?
They sure are.
Great. You've also done stuff at the Guthrie. I think I've seen you do.
We have. We've
Yeah.
done 2 shows in the 9th floor at the Guthrie. We did Three Musketeers, which was an
Mhm.
adaptation that I wrote, and then a Neil LaBute play as well. We did, but it's been a little bit since we've been in that space.
Well, I have.
We love being there, and it's a great,
Yeah. Oh, it's a
venue.
great space. That ninth floor is wonderful. I'm going to move to First Avenue, and I am going to admit I had no idea, and I am sorry that I did not have an idea of how many venues that covers. First Avenue owns the Depot Tavern, 7th Street Entry, Turf Club, the Fine Line, the Fitzgerald Theater, First Avenue Main Room, and you co-operate the Palace Theater. That's amazing.
You got them all. Yeah, it is amazing. First Avenue, I mean, like you mentioned, First Avenue has got a long history, just, the building, the physical place itself in the Twin Cities. And I think it's probably certainly the recognizable, location everyone has been to, gone to a show at. But over the years and over my time at First Avenue, we've definitely expanded a lot. I think it's really important to us to have a room that fits any size of an artist's career. And we really, I think, we're independently owned and operated. So we take it really seriously that we want to be there as artists are kind of ascending in their career. And we have a space for them to move up to as they grow and when they tour and come back around, and local artists here in town. So we've worked hard to make sure we have like a 250 cap room, and it's, if you've ever been to the Entry, it's one of the most kind of punk rock intimate little rooms in town. But then we also have, the Fitzgerald Theater in downtown St. Paul and the St. Paul Theater, the Palace Theater in St. Paul and downtown St. Paul. And both just like stunningly beautiful rooms where we put on lots of very different kinds of productions.
I remember in the Entry once being asked to hold the main act's equipment for a while, since I was there a little early. That
That's
doesn't have
intimate. That's intimate.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Now I'm going to move over to the Department of Theater, Arts, and Dance at the University of Minnesota. And you are doing amazing work as well. You're a collaborative hub for education, research, and training in the diverse field of dance and theater. And you have 5 unique programs that share commitment to collaboration and a balanced philosophy of training, combines an expansive liberal arts education and a rigorous study of performance on the stage and in the world. And I love going to see shows at the University of Minnesota, even though sometimes people think it's a little tough to get there. Since I went there, it's like duck soup for me. I know exactly where to go, and I'm delighted to be there.
Yes, yeah. We have 2 buildings on the west bank of the University of Minnesota campus, which is just near the intersection of Cedar and Riverside. We have the Barker Center for Dance, which has 1 theater in it. And we have the Rarig Center, which has 4 whole theaters, seating anywhere from 75 in one theater to 475 in another. And we put on, in total, about 17 shows a year.
Wow.
Ranging from small kind of experimental studio shows to our main stage productions. Our main stage productions, those are ticketed and you pay for them. And those are the ones that we have on Smart Pass. We do a fall show this fall. It is Cabaret, which is coming right up in the next 2 weekends. A musical. It's a collaboration with the School of Music. So it's a full, big, ambitious production. It's really exciting. It feels really timely right now. This is a musical about people living in Weimar, Germany in the run-up to the Second World War. And we also have coming right up on MELSA, Gather Now, Now Gather, which is our university dance theatre show, which is going to be at the Southern Theatre, because we like to give our emerging artists an opportunity to use other spaces as well. So that's really exciting. That's 4 incredibly dynamic pieces by guest choreographers, including Cynthia Oliver and hip hop artist Shakir Baron and our own Carlos Villanueva. Very, very exciting pieces there.
And are all 4 of those available through SmartPass?
They are.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and there are still tickets available there.
Wonderful. And I'm now going to move to the American Swedish Institute, which is a gathering place for all. It has vibrant arts and cultural organization that engages locally and connects globally. And it includes a historic Turnblad Mansion and Nelson Cultural Center. And you've got wonderful ways of connecting with the community. So tell me more, my friend, about the work that you do at the American Swedish Institute.
Yeah, thank you. Well, ASI is a really interesting place because we are an ethnically specific institution. But what you find quite often is how we're connecting not only the Nordic countries to Minnesota, but also to the Twin Cities. And whether that is through exhibitions, programs, classes, events, and that includes Zoom events as well. Actually, next week, we're going to be having a special workshop that is Zoomed in from Sweden. So we do try to give the opportunity for folks to engage with arts and culture, not only here in Minnesota, but also in the Nordic countries. So one of the things that we're currently, actually that just opened up today, is our 74th holiday experience. And this year it's called Tomte, the myth, the gnome, the legend. And for people who don't know, Tomte is, if you will, Sweden's Santa Claus. And so we've worked together with some scholars in Sweden and here in Minnesota to put together an amazing holiday experience that includes learning about this mythical creature called Tomte. And then it also gives us a way to engage people not only in the historic Turnblad Mansion, but also in the new cultural center. And that includes our cafe, which is Fika Cafe, that many people love and enjoy here. And it's just a wonderful place to be during the holiday season.
Ingrid, thank you so much. I have this beautiful picture of being able to come see the Nordic Santa Claus. It sounds absolutely heavenly.
Oh, Lori, I should also mention that it is, I find, virtually impossible to visit ASI without stopping at their amazing gift shop, which has the best stuff. So if you're looking for cool gifts for people on your list that are, challenging to buy for,
This is the place.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention one more time, the smartpass.melsa.org is you can learn more about all the different venues. And we're going to take a break now and come back and learn a little bit more about the partnership between these arts organizations and the Melsa Group. Stay with us for the continuing great conversation on things to do in the Twin Cities areas through our library. Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter and fun things to do. Our topic today is our continuing series on the library connections brought to us by MELSA, and that's the Metropolitan Library Service Agency. And we are talking about SmartPass that have been brought to us by our co-host Sally of MELSA and Susan the librarian. Welcome. Thank you. You guys always do such a wonderful job bringing really interesting things to our show.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure.
So what I'm going to do is just do a quick recap about what SmartPass is and how to use it. And you can use your SmartPass to get wonderful tickets in the Twin Cities area. And they're inviting you to broaden your cultural experiences beyond the library's wall through SmartPass. It's an art access website offering free and discount admissions to a variety of Twin Cities cultural destinations. And, excuse me, I've got a little cough drop in my mouth that decided to make that last sentence a little difficult to say. But we've got some great guests today that have brought to us by Sally. Sally, if you want to do a quick introduction of each, that'd be great.
Sure, I would be happy to. So we have 4 of our fantastic SmartPass partners with us today. John Heimbach, Artistic Director at Walking Shadow Theater Company. And Walking Shadow was part of our pilot and has been with SmartPass ever since it started. So that's fantastic. And then we also have Ingrid Nyholm Lane, who's the Chief Operating Officer at the American Swedish Institute, which huge shout out to them, because not only have they been with SmartPass since it started, but they were also pilot members of the Museum Adventure Pass as well, which ran from 2006 to 2012. And so we sure appreciate them giving so many of our library users the opportunity to come and visit them for free over now, a lot of years. And then Ashley Ryan is the VP of Marketing for First Avenue. First Avenue is one of our newer and very immediately popular venues, with sort of a family of venues. As discussed earlier, there's a lot of different places to go under that First Avenue.
When I did social media posts about First Avenue joining SmartPass, they were some of our most liked posts.
Yeah,
Their social media at the library. Everybody was very, very excited about that. And then we had the stories about how back in the day when you went to First Avenue, you used to get a handful of free tickets, and it reminded them when you went in, and it reminded them of that.
It's great.
Yeah, we're happy. And then I want to also introduce Margaret Wary, who's the professor and currently department chair for the Department of Theater Arts and Dance at the University of Minnesota. And they have also been with SmartPass since pretty close to the beginning. And so we really love having them as a partner, because we want people to realize that
I'm going to jump in. John, we kind of lost Sally for just a moment. I'm going to jump in with John. John is with the Walking Shadow Theater. And tell us, why do you participate with SmartPass?
We're really excited to be part of an active arts community. And so for us, being in a position where people get to experience our work, who are residents of the Twin Cities, who are very excited to explore different artistic opportunities around, that was enough for us. We were just very excited to share our work, to give people an opportunity. And we have a variety of access programs that we're part of. The SmartPass, though, seems like it brings us the kind of audience who are looking for the kind of work we do, which is thoughtful and interesting work, which people who are part of a library, active in a library, tend to be people who are drawn to that.
And Margaret Wary is with the University of Minnesota Theater and Dance Department. Tell us, why do you participate?
We are a public university, and we really see ourselves as a resource for the entire state. And we see ourselves as responsible for theatre and dance's future, right? We're training 180 brilliant emerging artists at any one time, but we're also developing audiences, and we're developing the people who are going to go see theatre and dance, which, live performance is such a gift right now in our current moment, and we think it's one of the most important things in civic life. So we really, any opportunity that we can see to make what we do available to the community, to bring people through our doors, to help them realize that what we do and all the opportunities that we have, not just the performances, but talks and events and masterclasses that are there for them, because they are our public and they are the future of the performing arts. That's why we're in Tamelsa. It's a real boon to us, and we're very grateful for the program.
And Ingrid, with the American Swedish Institute, you shared a little bit, but tell us a little bit more about why you think it's important to be part of the SmartPass.
I think museums and libraries have had strong partnerships here in the United States for decades. And for ASI in particular, I think sometimes people think you have to be Swedish or even Nordic to visit us, and you certainly don't. So by working with MELSA, we're not only supporting the community to think about using the library as a resource and what the library can give us beyond books, SmartPass, opportunities to go see all these wonderful artistic venues and cultural institutions in the Twin Cities, but it also gives us a chance to say, that ASI is more than just for Swedes and Nordics, that we're a museum and a cultural center where people can come and explore. And we're right in the heart of Phillips West neighborhood in Minneapolis. So, it was never a Swedish neighborhood. It never will be. And by working with MELSA, we're allowing people to come and explore and try something new.
Wonderful. And Ashley, you broke the social media at the library when it was first announced. Everyone was thrilled and delighted. So you're there by popular demand, but you must also have a reason why you thought it was important.
Yeah, I think when Sally reached out, so we're probably the newest to the program of this group. We joined in 2023, and I think honestly we had not known about the program ourselves. So a little bit of shame on me and shame on us for that, because now that we've discovered it, it's an incredible program. I mean, if you have not gone and checked out what's available, you absolutely should. It's such a diverse offering of different events, arts and cultural events around, the Twin Cities metro area. And it's all really cool stuff. So once we saw, who was involved and how easy the program is to use, we knew we wanted to be there. I think for us, a big part of, our mission is as an independent venue, being a part of our community and engaging with people where they're at, and knowing that is different places for different people. And the library is such a great resource. But again, as we're kind of hearing, not just for books, for all kinds of engaging media. And so we realized, well, this is a resource that people in our community already know about and they're utilizing. And we want to make sure they see, kind of the diverse programming that we have ourselves. And like I said before, I think a lot of people in town know First Avenue, but they might not know that we're doing ballets at the Fitzgerald Theater, that we have children's programming now. It's maybe not kind of the same First Avenue everyone has in their memory banks.
Well, I want to thank each of you for coming and sharing about your venue and working with SmartPass. And I'm encouraging the audience, take a look at smartpass.melsa.org. Incredible opportunities with that library card of yours to be able to get some terrific events in the Twin Cities. And the more you have library cards in your family, it may expand your opportunities to go and see these various events. So thank you to each of you. We're delighted. I myself am going to take up, they got me in September to make sure that I renewed my library card. And in this show, I'm committed to at least seeing one or two shows that you all offer. So I'm looking forward to it. And with that, we'll be back just after a few short announcements and be wrapping up about SmartPass and opportunities here in the Twin Cities. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we have been having a great time learning about things in the Twin Cities to do through our library connections. And our topic today has been Library Connections, brought to us by MELSA, the Metropolitan Library Service Agency. And we've been featuring SmartPass with my co-hosts Sally of MELSA and Susan the librarian. Welcome back. So one of the cool things that Susan and I were talking about is this is like throughout the metropolitan area.
Yes. It's not just only in Minneapolis or only in St. Paul. There's venues in like Bloomington and Andover, so we're in some of the outlying suburban areas.
And if you've just joined us and you don't know what a SmartPass is, if you've got a library card, you can go on to a website. You can either go on to melsa.org, but you can also go on to smartpass.melsa.org and see, I'm correct me if I'm wrong, is it around 30 different venues that are publicized?
30.
And they change. They might even change daily. They have different opportunities that come up that you should just keep checking. But you can also sign up for an email that will alert you to what's being offered.
Yep, everything that's been offered up through the past week. And you get it every Sunday. And it's very, very cool because you can, experience all sorts of arts and cultural events that you might not have thought of going to. You don't know they're out there, and because of our partners who are willing to give us these free passes.
So if you're looking for things to do, there's great opportunities. And what I hope is that this is kind of like an appetizer for you. You get a free appetizer by seeing a show for free, but you might just fall in love with that venue and decide not only to come see a show again, but maybe you sign up because it moved you so much that you might want a season ticket holder. And that's what we're trying to do, is plant seeds of awareness. It's been hard after COVID for people to get out and do things.
Yep.
And I think a little nudge from our library and library card that allows us to I can get a couple tickets for free and go do something fun around the holidays is a great way to give yourself a present and someone that you want to bring along as well.
Yes.
Sally, are you with us?
Yep.
Great. Sally, do you have some closing comments that you want to make?
Well, I just do want to, again, encourage everybody to be sure they do have a library card. It's easy to get one. It's free. And also, there are lots of great resources, one of which we've been talking about today, SmartPass. And there's a lot of other great stuff you can access as well. And we really, really appreciate, again, the many arts partners, including those who were with us today, who are generously allowing their tickets to be given out for free on our program, which without that, obviously, SmartPass wouldn't exist. So we sure appreciate it.
And I want to give the last couple minutes to our friend Susan, who gives us some closing ideas about the whole library system and things to think about.
Okay, well, I've got some recommendations that the library systems offer that kind of go along with SmartPass. We've got a lot of things that would help you with your lifelong learning, including LinkedIn Learning, where you can learn software, technical, creative, and business skills with your library card and PIN. And all of our libraries have books. If you are inspired by all of these arts and cultural events, if you want to learn guitar, if you want to learn how to do some of the arts yourself, stop by your library and you could learn that too. We've got all sorts of things online and off that you can learn.
And I want to do a special thank you to Walking Shadow Theater Artistic Director John Heimbuch, Ashley Ryan from First Avenue, the University of Minnesota Theater and Dance Company Chair Margaret Wary, and Ingrid Neinholm Lang, who is the Chief Operating Officer at American Swedish Institute. We appreciate your input today and your encouragement and the exciting things to be able to do and be and allow ourselves to enjoy, all through the generosity of your efforts as well as MELSA and getting it out there. Thanks for listening today. I hope you'll join us next week as well here on Connections Radio Show, the part of AM 950's Progressive Voice of Minnesota.